you darn. You ready to get going today? Sweet. We're going to take a trip down to the home of the Doyle family in Wauwatosa to see how Mike and Judy made possibly the biggest difference in their community ever. At least in my opinion. Let's check it out.
At first it started off really to carry on Jack's dream, but it wasn't really too long for us working on it that we realized, it wasn't for Jack anymore. It was for the community of skaters, and that was a big turning point for us and for our involvement, and it became very much something that we wanted to see for the community. It started pretty close to 2003. There was a meeting of the Youth Commission, the Police Department, and the Parks and Forestry Department. And those groups got together really to determine, is there a need for a skate park in Wauwatosa? And the answer was overwhelmingly yes, there is a need. And that was really the birth of what became TosaSkatersUnited. So
the mission of TosaSkatersUnited, actually the original mission was to make sure that the community had a safe place for kids to ride, bike, scooter, BMX, rollerblade. And as the original members got together and developed the complete mission, they realized that they just not only wanted to build a facility, but they also wanted to promote all these activities as the outdoors.
And the mission statement of TSU is to build a safe place for kids to skate and rollerblade.
To build the place and also to promote those activities.
Jack was our youngest son. We have three children, and Jack's the youngest. He got interested first in skateboarding, and then his interest switched to rollerblading, and so he became an aggressive inline rollerblader, and really became avid with the sport and with the activity. I used to take him to parks all around southeastern Wisconsin, spent a lot of time down at Four Seasons at the indoor park, and he's the one that joined up with the TosaSkatersUnited group really when it was first founded. So he was one of the original members of TosaSkatersUnited, and got us involved sort of peripherally. We'd take him to the meetings, we'd kind of listen to what was going on and how things were developing, but he passed away when he was 13 years old, just 2 weeks shy of his 14th birthday. And after we were able to kind of collect ourselves and come to grips with our loss, we decided that we would kind of take up his banner. We went for many years, from 2003 till probably, almost 2013, I think. Almost 10 years didn't make a lot of progress, I guess, on the funding. It was very frustrating. Most of that time period was really laying the groundwork with the community, getting people to understand what skating was all about. Well, the layout of the park was inspired really by the skating community. We hired a consultant skate park designer that they specialize in skate park design. That's really all they do. The project manager was a former professional skater, Canton Russell, and they would come into town intermittently and hold public meetings, and they would present their preliminary plans for the park, and the skaters and bikers would all get together and review those plans and comment on them, mark them up, vote on which ones they like the best and what features they'd like to see added or modified.
It was important that we had the community give input because as the name of the organization that was behind this, TosaSkatersUnited, implies, it was the United part comes from the community of bikers, the BMX bikers, the skateboarders, and the inline rollerbladers. So it was important that everybody who was going to use the park had some say in the design, so that that the ending result was useful to all those user groups.
And there have been other parks that have been designed, I think, without skaters' input that a lot of times don't turn out to be what everybody would like it to be. So rather than kind of force fit the park onto the skaters, they had the skaters really design a park that they wanted. We finally made some big progress on funding for the park when we decided, actually, I think it was Judy's idea to do what we called an 80-80-80 campaign. And we had essentially three groups. It was more or less a private-public partnership with the city of Wauwatosa, TosaSkatersUnited United, which was our group, the grassroots group that had been formed in 2003. And then Judy and myself, we took the money that would have been spent on Jack's college funds and donated it as part of this 80-80-80 campaign. Challenge.
It was really important to challenge the city to step forward.
The city at the time was generously giving us the land, but for many years they said they just didn't have a skate park in the budget. So all of the funding would have to be done by TosaSkatersUnited United. It was quite a daunting challenge.
So when we approached the city and said, this is our challenge, we will give the $80,000 if TosaSkatersUnited United can match it. And TosaSkatersUnited United was maybe about a quarter of the way there to their $80,000. And then we challenged the city that they would have to come up with $80,000. And the city was all in. There wasn't a dissenting vote at all. We would get up, we'd go to these street festivals, we'd sell t-shirts, just have ourselves out there in the community. And it was at a street festival when we were so burned out and thought, do we need to do this other street festival to sell 3 more t-shirts? And we said, yep, we gotta go, we gotta get out there. And it was at that street festival that we met the person who became our anonymous donor. And it was just incredible. He had seen our posters up around town. He had wondered, how he could help. And he stepped forward at that last moment and said, I'll get you that funding to get that skate park built. Once we went out to bid, the bids all came in much higher. We would have had to scale down the park to half its size. We would have gotten no bowl had we stuck with that original plan, the 80-80-80. And because of his donation and because of another company called Landmark Healthcare Facilities, who stepped in with a $100,000 donation, we were able to go back to the original larger design and take it. I know how the community sees skateboarders because I'm out there talking to the people in the community all the time. When I go down to that skate park and there's a mom down there with a kid, I am talking to them saying, what do you think about the skate park? What's your experience been here? Just last week I was down there and a mom came up to me and said, the kids who use this park are so nice. She said, my son was having troubles dropping in and this kid came up to him and showed him how to do it. For me, people just have to look around to know that, or take the time to ask a skater, what else are they into? Because there's so much more to that young person's life than just their skating.
And that's one of the things I really like about the skateboarding and BMX biking and inline skating. And actually, a lot of people my age like that aspect, that it's a throwback to when we were kids and we played sandlot baseball and pickup basketball and tackle football, and we organized that all ourselves. Well, and it was really interesting during the course of the project how the attitude, I think, of the community at large really changed. Not overwhelming, but we would get some pushback. People are like, well, isn't that going to be dangerous? And we'd say, well, it's no, skating in the street, that's dangerous. Skating in a skate park is the safest place to skate. Well, what about liability for the city? And we'd explain, it's the park's immunity that when people go there, they assume the risks of, like you would with any other activity
Playground.
in the park.
And it's so interesting to go down there and watch because there's skate park etiquette. you watch how the people take turns, and you know there's some bumps and bruises along the way, but to watch the kids, you know, say my bad, or you know, oh well, when they bump into someone.
The kids run it themselves. They call each other up. They meet down there, and I really like that aspect of the sport.
Break the book, break the book.